We are eating good as DC fans, and especially Superman fans. This gets me so hyped. Hey there, this is your man Doodle, Too Much Time Hands, Doodle My Heroes in another video. And today, I'd like to talk about this Superman trailer that just came out. Oh my god, how this trailer makes me feel hopeful and excited for the rest of the universe is insane. Like, I've been there from the beginning when this movie was being announced. I was already excited. Yes, there were points where I was kind of like, I'm not 100% sure from who they were bringing in, from Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, and Guy Gardner Green Lantern. That's where I got a little odd because that feels like a cop-out for James Gunn because it seems like he's really good with teammates. And if he can't do a Superman movie by himself, that's where it got me worried. And then when I saw the promotional image of Superman putting on his boots, I'm like, I'm not 100% sure about this because of how the costume was done, too. How, because of the background, it makes him look kind of selfish, which I do want to talk about because it seems like that's still in this trailer. But then when I saw literal leaks of Corn Sweat in the suit, I was like, damn, this is a Superman, a hopeful, joyous man with impossible powers. That was good. And those were promotional images. So when I saw the actual movie poster for this film, I was like, oh my god, you're doing so good. You are making everyone's wishes come true. If you like a hopeful Superman, it was bright, it was colorful, it was so awesome to look at, and it had his own little score in it from when James Gunn posted it, to the now having a trailer we get to see. The way this trailer is done, it gives me a feeling of hope for the rest of the universe, for how they're going to show everything. Because yes, this whole DC universe is going to have different vibes and feelings like comic books. Like, each comic book is going to have its own feeling, and that's what I feel like this universe is. So the way they put it in this trailer is perfect how it is, because they show the joys of Superman, but also the pain. As literally in the beginning, we get to see Superman literally crash down from a giant height, bloody and beaten, and I'm like, dang, that's a hell of a way to start a trailer, and showing him really hurt. We get to see of him as Clark Kent, which is beautiful. I love how they portrayed Clark Kent. I was a little bit off, though, because he looked a little too aloof, if that makes sense. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's like, is he overacting as Clark Kent? Or is that just how the character of Clark Kent is supposed to act? Which then gets me into a worry about saying that Clark Kent completely is going to be disguised, which I have said in multiple cases where I do not want Clark Kent to just be that disguise, and I do want Clark Kent to actually be him, but just a different side of him, as Superman would be. But that's just a little nitpick on my end. I'm just waiting till the movie comes out so I can have a full opinion. But then they do one of the best things ever. You know how they showed Krypto in an Instagram image that James Gunn did, right? It was because he had a dog who was a shelter dog, so he wanted to bring that into this film, which is cool, right? And then we get to see Krypto the Superdog in here saving Superman, which is awesome. We get to see Superman get help from his own dog, which is so cute and so sweet. We get to see Superman save people, like we saw Superman finally save this girl, as we've seen in leaks of him doing. And it's just, every time I see stuff like that, it is Superman. That is what we see. And then I love this costume even more. I was originally like, kind of off because I didn't like Superman having a collar, and I was a little off with all the texture. I still don't like that in this suit, but the way they put it in this trailer is awesome. It fits now. This is Superman. We get to see Superman save people. We get Superman actually try to help, but then we also get to see what I feel like this movie's going to tackle. Do people really want a Superman? And it feels like Superman, the character, is dead. Like, we haven't had a hopeful Superman for so long. So how is this Superman going to deal with everything? Will he stay positive? Will he stay hopeful? Because in this trailer, it does look like Superman is upset and annoyed. So what's he going to do? And we get to see Lex Luthor in this film too. And I was a little off about the actor as well, because I thought him being bald would just make it look weird. But no, when you see the hate inside this man's eyes of Superman, you feel Lex Luthor, and I'm like, yeah, that's Lex. That petty little man hating Superman, that's Lex Luthor. And that is, like, beautiful. The actress who plays Lois Lane is awesome. I like how her vibe in this trailer, too. This is where I also meant, like, does she know that Clark Kent and Superman are the same person? Because in this trailer, we do see her make out with Superman, and then we see her make out with Clark. The only problem is, Clark is not wearing his glasses, so technically, maybe at this point, she knows that Superman is Clark Kent. So I'm wondering what that relationship would be like. Does she love Clark Kent first, or does she love Superman first, or does she just know automatically? That's what I'm curious with. But because of how they're portraying this already, that she's already going to have a relationship with Clark or Superman at this point, and that's awesome because we don't need to see that wishy-washy on is she going to learn to love him. No, she already seems like she does love him. And then we get to see Pa Kent in here, and it's so sweet because we get to see the love between Clark and Jonathan, but unfortunately, it may look like that Martha may have died in this universe instead of Pa Kent, because in normal cases, Jonathan Kent dies from a heart attack, and it's supposed to show that Clark can't save everyone, even with all his powers. That's the lesson he learns. Well, it looks like they may do that for Martha, which would be an interesting change-up, because how would Jonathan deal with everything? Because we see him and Clark looking like they're grieving, or look like they're remembering something. What's that about? Or maybe Jonathan did die, and this is a memory of them together. There's so much stuff in this trailer, and then you still don't know what the movie's going to be about, because we do see a giant kaiju monster, which makes me feel so nostalgic of Superman just being a superhero, just fighting the big bad super monster, whatever, right? And it feels really nostalgic for me. Like, is that monster actually going to be important? Or is that just going to be a bad guy of the week type situation that superheroes used to have? And then we get to see Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Mr. Terrific, and Metamorpho of what he's going to look like. I still like how Mr. Terrific looks like. He still looks badass. He looks like he has the T-spheres to actually protect him, so that's cool. And Guy Gardner is here. Some people are saying that, the Bull Cup makes him look goofy and makes him look stupid, and I'm like, maybe that's the point, because Guy Gardner looks like he's an older guy. The actor who's playing him is an older guy, so maybe that's the point, that he's just stuck in his old ways of how everything works and how things should be done, and that, he's going to be a dick. But in this trailer, it actually looks like he wants to give Superman some respect, because it looks like he's turning himself in from something, which all the people are like hating him on for. It looks like he's turning himself into a building, and Guy uses his lantern ring to shield Superman or them from something going on. And it looks like he's actually going to give him respect, which is kind of cool in the scene. Like, what's going on? We get to see Hawkgirl in this trailer for a little bit, and she looks awesome with her wings and the helmet. Yes, they all are wearing the same suit, but in this trailer, it doesn't look as, poofy, which is the whole point of CGI and visual effects to make them look better, which this looks awesome. We get to see that Metamorpho is actually going to have prosthetics, and he's going to actually, be real. Yeah, they're obviously going to have CGI for him because, every element being used, but this base form of having prosthetics is awesome. And it's funny because I can't tell the original actor underneath that. I thought they would just make him do a CGI model of him looking normal and not as big. But in here, it actually looks like they're going to make him completely different from the actual actor. That is interesting. That is fascinating. Because of how they showed him very close up, maybe this is the origin of Metamorpho. And I already have my idea of what's going to happen at this point with him in a video I made a while ago. If you want to go watch that. But it's kind of old, so be warned. But it explains on what I think is going to happen in that movie. But a quick thing is, I think what's going to happen in this movie is that Superman is going to try to help Metamorpho to be a better person, or to help him control his powers and to not be in a group setting like Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific being with Stag Industries. Because that's what it seems like it's doing. Because that's how Metamorpho was created, by Stag himself. But that's just my own thought. Again, if you want to watch the original video, it's up here. But again, we don't know anything about what's going on in this trailer. We see that Lex is strapped up, very angry. I'm wondering if he's after Lois Lane, because it looks like it's a regular gun, and it doesn't look like it's half kryptonite. I know some people are saying it's probably going to have kryptonite, but I'm not 100% sure. There's a bunch of innocent human people that he could just mess with, because this is Lex freaking Luthor. Oh, and speaking of his name, anyone curious on why the building is called Luthor Corp instead of Lex Corp? That could just be me. That could be how it is in the comics, but I'm used to it being LexCorp. My first thought was that it's because it's Lex's family, and then maybe he's going to switch it to being Lex because he's a narcissist. He wants to be all about him. So that's just my thoughts about that. But then we go back to what I was talking about, in that promotional image of Superman putting up his boots and getting ready to fight a giant eyeball monster, right? But in here, it looks like he's just sitting there talking to Lois about something going on, and then it just seems like They're just looking at it. So what is this thing? Is it actually hurting people? Is it actually fighting someone? Is Superman maybe lost his powers or something and that's why he can't do anything? Because that would be the only reason I can see why Superman is not doing anything. Or maybe he lost faith in himself and that's why Lois is there with him to show why there needs to be a Superman, especially when there's a cynical world. Is it maybe that, he's being pushed out because it looks like Superman is fighting this Ultraman looking guy because people keep saying that the guy in black is Ultraman and could be either turning into Bizarro or Doomsday because it could be a clone, which could make sense because again, it shows in this trailer that people are hating on him. So I think the whole point of this film would be that maybe Superman is being framed for being too edgy, too rough, and too broken as a way of showing that like, hey, this is the evil Superman trope. Here you go. And then here's our Superman who actually will stop him, which actually would be kind of awesome if they actually go that route. And maybe Lex is trying to frame Superman, which is why this Ultraman looking figure is trying to go after him. Because of course, Lex is a complete hater. So maybe that's what's going on. I don't know if Lex has had beef with Superman all this time, or this is a new beef that's going on. So that's interesting. This is what I mean about this trailer. We don't know what's gonna happen. Everything is fair game. They show us cool scenes. They show us what's going on, but that's about it. We don't know anything about the plot. They've introduced these characters. They seem cool. They seem interesting and makes me want to know about it. But remember, this is a teaser trailer. This is not a complete one. There is going to be more they show us, and that makes me so excited because this movie does come out in July 11th. If you think about that, that is not that far away for this movie to come out. So we'll probably get to see more trailers later on. That's exciting. So those are just my thoughts on what I thought of the trailer. I am excited for how they're introducing Clark. A little worried. I'm excited for Superman and Lois' relationship. I'm excited for Lois herself on what kind of attitude they're going to give her. Yes, she usually is given the no-nonsense attitude, but how are they going to show that? I'm excited for Lex now. Again, I was worried about him, but he seems so in his element. The actor seems so in his element about having complete hate for a superpowered being. Does this Lex hate all superpowered beings, or is it just Superman because of how good he is and how he can't be bribed, like how it looks like Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawkgirl look like they can be bribed? And what's Metamorpho's deal in this film? What's he gonna be doing in here? This just gets me so excited for this movie. And I had to rush to make this trailer because I didn't get to see it right away. But yeah, hey, that's my thoughts on the Superman trailer. What did you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you like that this is his new suit? Do you like that this is the vibe of the world? I know some people were a little off about the color in this film, but it felt so cool to see, at least to me. But what did you think? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. But hey, if you like this video, punch that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever these videos come out. But hey, if there's nothing else, this has been Doodlemite. I hope everyone stays nerdy, and I hope to see everyone in the next video. Bye!